The Catholic Diocese of Little Rock agreeing to a settlement with 5 men who claim they were sexually abused by a priest.
Fox 16's Kate Reardon sitting down with 2 of the victims today who are sharing their experiences in hope of getting other victims to come forward.
And we do want to let you know we've disguised the voice and identity of one of the victims to protect his anonymity, and then the second victim chose to recall his experience through a statement.
It is a debilitating feeling, and this has gone on for 45 years.
This victim, who wishes to remain anonymous, was one of several who as a boy endured repeated sexual abuse at the hands of Father John McDaniel.
I call that man a Satan.
It happened at Our Lady of Holy Souls in Hillcrest in the early 1970s, and he was not alone. Another victim recalling McDaniel telling him he was a horrible, evil kid. No one will ever love him. God hates him. He would never have any friends, and that this was their secret.
He pointed at me and told the teacher, "Don't ever believe anything that boy says or tells you. You cannot trust anything he says."
Both were subjected to sexual acts as well.
They were never the same after that. Something was permanently broken in them after these experiences.
Recently, a settlement was reached where the Diocese of Little Rock agreed to compensate the victims for the child's sex abuse claims. Attorney Josh Gillespie believes for the first time in Arkansas. But while the compensation was significant for the state, it wasn't as it should have been because of the statute of limitations.
Until Arkansas changes its outdated statute of limitations for child sex abuse claims, the diocese is never going to truly do right by them.
Both victims for decades thought they were the only ones. They wanted to share their stories so others would know they aren't alone.
He sure made a hell of a mess in my life, but he will not destroy me.
Father John McDaniel died in 1974. He was one of at least 12 priests in Arkansas who have had credible sexual abuse allegations made against them in the last 70 years. Both of these victims say they've been able to keep their faith due in part to clergy members. The Diocese of Little Rock did release a statement in regards to this settlement. It reads in part, "There were no limits on confidentiality in the agreement that was reached, which allows the victims who participated in the settlement to release details at their discretion, either themselves or through their attorneys."